Okay, so I'm now going to talk to you about the part about being in a growth mindset, about being inspired by other people's success. So in mindset, if you are in a fixed mindset, you are more likely to be threatened by other people's successes rather than looking at things and feeling inspired by them. And that is all part of protecting your own intelligence and being kind of seen as this top dog. Yeah, it's all kind of part and parcel of the same aspect of protecting your intelligence. So if someone's achieving something that you are specifically supposed to be good at, and you are sort of known for being good at that thing, if someone else is achieving greater things than you are at a particular moment or being more successful, then you are going to feel more threatened by that. So in relation to this pandemic, I think that it's not really necessarily about that kind of fixedness of being threatened by other people's success. I am thinking about the aspect of the growth mindset more. That is what I see being utilised more here, that idea of being inspired by other people's success. And I think that is kind of spreading throughout the nation, throughout the world even, that we are being inspired by the way other people are responding to this situation, because it's difficult. So if you can find the positives within it, then that's a really positive thing, and it also keeps the mental health of our country sort of high, or higher than it might possibly be if we were just kind of immersing ourselves in the negative impact of this pandemic, or pandemic. So maybe the feeling of inspiration that we're seeing now is more about how we are responding to other people's success. And it has like this domino effect because there are lots of initiatives happening. And I think largely these initiatives are probably happening as a response to having more information now, having had time to get used to what is going on and get our heads around it. But also because there are small episodes, it's like this ripple effect, small episodes of positive impacts or positive things that are happening, and then somebody else sees something else happening and it gives them an idea for something else. So there's huge amounts of creativity going on around this as well, like we've already explored. And I think this is all largely why a lot of growth mindset is happening, and why I feel inspired myself to do these sets of videos and blogs, because there is so much happening just naturally. It's not forced at all, it's just occurring out there in bucket loads. So people are being inspired to help other people in this plight, and that's inspiration in itself, the amount of kindness. So I'm inspired by NHS staff who are putting their lives on the line and working incredibly hard to get through this crisis. And that's why, it's important that we all stay at home to try and help them as much as we can. And I hope that in our way, we are inspiring those same NHS staff to keep going, to keep persevering, because we will get through this, but we need to show them our solidarity and that we are thinking of them and not forgetting about them. So that's part of what our clap on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock is all about. And I really do hope that that is boosting and hoping to encourage and inspire those NHS staff that they should continue, because they're not alone. We are all behind them. I'm inspired by the retired NHS staff who have come back onto the front line. So just at the moment they thought they were going to be able to put their medical kit gear aside and take part in things that they want to take part of out of the NHS. Suddenly there's not only this call for them to come back, but it's actually a pretty dangerous call for them to come back. And there's been such a big response to that. So I'm inspired by those people. I'm also inspired by the NHS volunteers that signed up, because there were huge numbers of those people putting themselves forward to support vulnerable people at this time of need. And I'm also inspired by those vulnerable people, because they have their own challenges to face every day. And the fact that they are vulnerable is probably another worrying thing for them to have to cope with, on top of other things that they probably have going on as well. I'm inspired by the food manufacturers, the people that deliver food, the people that are on the front line delivering food to people. I'm inspired by the refuse collectors that help us to keep going, because we don't want to be overloaded with rubbish at a time like this. That's something we don't need to worry about. I am inspired by chemists and pharmacists, who are also part of the key workforce in this country and keeping other illnesses at bay and other health issues that are going on. They are allowing that work to continue. I'm inspired by the education sector, by the teachers that my colleagues around me, coming up with all sorts of ways of trying to keep children engaged and trying to connect with them. And I read an article recently about how the education system is probably about 5 to 15 years behind the business sector in terms of their kind of online capability, but that we are being forced to think about new ways that we can continue that connection happening with pupils. So hopefully that might be a positive kind of step into kind of that world and how we could do more things from home. Because I think there's certainly opportunities to be able to do that. So this is another way that we've been forced to kind of think about that. I'm inspired as a mum. So, it's quite a scary thought to have to homeschool for a lot of parents out there, but the wealth of resources that have been put online, and also businesses and organisations that have, for this set period of time, have put things online for free that normally you'd have to pay for, to help people to get through this time. And like the National Theatre, for example, have put some of their productions up online every Thursday that you can go and have a look at. I'm inspired by the generosity of businesses who are seeing the need to help people, even if it's just from an entertainment point of view. It's really, really helping the nation in terms of mental health again. So I'm inspired by the solidarity, the creativity and the ingenuity that I see going on in the nation at the moment, and long may that continue after we're through this. So there has been a lot of stuff that I've explored in the other blogs that would fit into this, of things that I have been inspired by. And I think that's probably why maybe this is a fitting end to the exploration that I've gone through about how growth mindset relates to what's been going on with this outbreak of COVID-19. What I've seen around me has certainly inspired me, and contrary to the fixed mindset that is threatened by other people's successes, I am truly inspired by the successes around me that I have seen. So thank you.